Hey everybody, I wanted to make a video today and use this Blazer as an example to show you guys some things here. Modern day mechanics is nothing like the days of the 60s or 70s or even the 80s. I'd say about 85 is when the automotive industry really started to change, and then OBD2 came out in 95, and that really changed the automotive industry. Long gone are the days of grease monkeying. Long gone are the days of just simply turning wrenches. There are more legalities, more policies, more procedures, more paperwork involved with modern day automotive technology than you could ever possibly know unless you've been to school and you've been in the industry for years and years on end. Me, myself, I'm a 16-year veteran automotive technician. I'm not a mechanic. There is a difference in a mechanic and a technician. I am a certified automotive technician. So I've got 16 years experience behind me, 10 years professional in a shop, 6 years as an independent technician, right? I'm also ATRA certified, ASE master certified. And what I mean by ASE master certified is that I do hold all 8 ASE certifications, deeming me a master technician. ATRA certified, I'm BMW certified, Nissan certified. My Ferrari and Porsche certifications have ran out, but I've been Ferrari and Porsche certified. Long story short, there's no way in the world I could stand up in front of a court of law in this country and deny any of my experience or knowledge as an automotive technician. It is what I do for a living. So therefore, I am extremely liable when I work on another person's vehicle as an independent technician. Let's take this vehicle, for example. And if you ever wonder why sometimes I get a little stressed out about working on your car, I'm going to tell you right now. And if you think I'm the only automotive technician that has to worry about these things, you're wrong. We all do. So maybe this video might help you to become a better customer in the future. So here's a 1997 Blazer. Now this person handed me $500 cash, put it in my pocket, and said, "Here, do what you can to fix the suspension on my car." Now they also told me that they were going to give me an additional $400 on top of that $500 to do some more work to it and blah, 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 blah. And I'm very glad that they did. So the original job that we were going to do was going to be ball joints and a front end suspension, control arms, ball joints, bushings, you name it. So when we've already replaced the shocks, the front and rear shocks on this vehicle. So the customer dropped the vehicle off to us, and anytime we do suspension, the first thing we do is we get in it and test drive it. Even though we already knew it was bad, we still test drive it. Well, upon test driving it, we noticed something that I did not like at all, and it is what is called a life-threatening safety issue. When I started driving in it, I noticed that the steering wheel has now got 10 degrees play inside of it. Look at this. Look at that. You see that? That right there, folks, could send me to prison for a very long time, or at least put me on probation. How? Well, check this out. Let's go underneath here and let's look at the steering on this vehicle that happens to be right next to my suspension components. Okay? So here, you've got an outer tie rod end. You've got an inner tie rod end. Let's see if we can get some light in here for you. There we go. So you've got an outer tie rod end, you've got an inner tie rod end, you've got a pitman arm, and then you've got an idler arm. Okay? And now these components are bad. Let's see if we can find the idler arm here. Right there. Okay. Alright. I'm going to tell you right now, it is because of this guy, and it is because of this guy. Look at that. Look at that play. Look at that. That is not supposed to be there. Okay? It is because of these two things that the steering is bad on this vehicle, along with the center drag link. Alright? Now that is what causes the 10-degree play in the steering on this vehicle. Alright? Now let me tell you what would happen, or what could possibly happen if I were to ignore that and not repair that. All right, let's say I go ahead and I repair the front end suspension on this vehicle, and I give the vehicle back to the customer. All right, tomorrow he gets up, he takes it for a drive, and for some reason that steering ends up going out on him. he gets in a wreck and it causes a personal bodily injury, or worst case scenario, somebody dies. Well, anytime you get in a wreck with a vehicle that has a bodily injury or a human death, guess what comes? The investigator. Okay. Well, now the investigator, he's going to come and he's going to investigate. Insurance company is going to investigate, and they're going to look at the front end and they're going to see that there's new shocks, there's new suspension, but there's no new steering. Okay. Now all of a sudden, and if they decide that a wreck was caused because the steering was not fixed over the suspension, now all of a sudden this accident is no longer an accident because it could have been avoided if the mechanic that was in there previous, due to the evidence of a new suspension and new shocks, had fixed the steering. If it was a professional that done it, and trust me, they will find out that I'm a professional, they will come after me with criminal charges, because it is my responsibility as a professional to know these things and to fix them. Vehicles are no joke. A vehicle this big, traveling 20 miles an hour, is a weapon. It will kill somebody. It will kill you. It will kill somebody else. As an automotive technician, I have this in the back of my mind at all times. When I am working on your car, this is not just something that you get in and go back and forth to work. There are things that can be done that can cause accidents. There are safety and life-threatening components on your vehicle that, if ignored, could result in serious loss, or harmful, what do they call can result in harm or even death. So when it comes to things like this, I constantly have that on my mind. Now what I need to do is, I need to, instead of going ahead and replacing the suspension, I need to go ahead and tear down the steering and get the steering replaced first. That's the first thing we'll do on this, is get the steering replaced. Then after that, the next life-threatening issue will be the ball joints. If ball joints break going down the road, then you're also going to cause a wreck and also possibly cause someone to die as well. But because we have budgets and time and all that other stuff, we have to handle this carefully. So the number one life-threatening issue, of the lesser, I guess, of the two evils, so to speak, would be the ball joints. So we will leave those alone, and we'll go ahead and we'll get the steering changed out. Then we'll do the ball joints. Then we'll do the bushings. Now the question is why are these things gone out like so? Okay, oil and rubber do not mix. Rubber and oil hate each other. So if you notice underneath here, all of this is caked up in oil. So now the next question is what's the point in changing this out if it's only going to get oil leaked on it again? So after we change out the steering and fix the ultimate safety issue, really the next thing we want to do is go inside of here and fix our oil leak, which on these Chevys is known to come out of the timing cover. So the avalanche effect is actually a timing cover oil leak, which leaked all over the front suspension and steering, and in turn destroyed the rubber and all the bushings and allowed all the grease to leak out of the fittings. So the proper way to fix this would be to first change out the steering, because that's a major safety issue. Then once you've got the safety issue fixed, then you need to go in and you need to fix the root of the problem, which is the oil leak. So this customer has told me that they're going to give me an additional $400, and that's what that additional money will go towards. Ultimately replacing the whole front end, and then also fixing the oil leak, which is ultimately the cause of this problem to begin with. And that's a lot of fun, isn't it? So yeah, that's that. So that this person doesn't end up in a wreck a month from now, I don't end up in jail or on probation or some type of major huge fine on me, first thing we're going to do is fix the steering. And so that, informative decisions, educated decisions based off of your safety, your children's safety, your family's safety. These are all things I have to contemplate when I'm working on your vehicle. And when you have to think about stuff like this, at the same time thinking about processes and procedures and math and everything else, it can really stress you out. So next time you bring your car to your mechanic or your automotive technician, give him a pat on the back and thank him for everything that he does, because little do you know, he just might be saving your life.